I love the game. I love the hustle, man.
So we did kind of talk about the Harrison Barnes re-signing. Now, for some of you guys who may have seen the video that's kind of going live when Harrison first signed, I was kind of disappointed. But as things kind of unfolded, as moves and signings started to be made, I understood what happened. Monte McNair knew that these guys that we were looking at, which was the Kyle Kuzmas, the Middletons, the Draymonds, like the names that were kind of tied to the Sacramento Kings, he had to catch wind that these guys were going to stay with their teams. So he just made the first chess move in retaining Harrison Barnes. A couple days later, like, how do you reflect on that? 'Cause I know we did the video right away. I believe that was Thursday night we did that video. It's now Saturday, 2 days later. So just a couple days later, how do you reflect on that Harrison Barnes signing? And then we'll get to the other move that happened today after that.
You know what's crazy? I wish I could pick Monte McNair's mind, right? I wish I could ask him, do you feel like you overpaid for Harrison Barnes, or do you feel like that was a perfect market? I know it's a friendly contract, right? So if something happens, between All-Star break or something like that, maybe we can move off of him or anyone else for All-Star break. And we know Monte is aggressive. He's a quiet, aggressive guy when it comes to making these moves. But when I look back on it, I mean, I go back and forth. These last couple of days since the signings, I have definitely gone back and forth because I'd rather not have lost Harrison trying to go out after these other guys. And again, you said it. You said, you know what, Monte must have knew something for him to go out so quickly and re-sign Harrison. You know what I mean?
Because that was the first move. That was like the first, I guess, big move in free agency was Harrison. You know what I mean? That was, and that was announced early because he was already, we were pretty much retaining him. So it wasn't like he wasn't tampering or nothing like that. We were just retaining the player that we already had. So that's why that news came out on Thursday. But for me, like I said, my initial was like, man, Monty's not doing his due diligence. He ain't even trying to get better. You know what I mean? So that was my whole thing. Hey, I'm a man. I'll come on and apologize. I jumped the gun. You know what I mean? Sometimes we do that. I did jump the gun because, but y'all got to understand where I was coming from with that. It was, for me, I'm like looking at our situation last season. I'm like, the whole time after we lost to the Warriors, I'm like, man, how can we get better? How can we get better? And then when free agency came and I felt like was happening, I was like, man, but now it makes sense. Now let's talk about the move that happened today with Sasha, I believe it's Vezenkov. Sasha V. But yeah, so for those of you guys who don't know, Sasha, I'm gonna say Vezenkov. He was the EuroLeague MVP. Let me look at his averages. But while I looked that up, what do you think about that move?
You know what? I liked it. I was hoping that, that was one of the reasons why we didn't go out. You know what I'm saying? I was hoping, we wasn't so aggressive. Maybe we have something else up our sleeve. Maybe Sasha will be coming back. I like his game. A 6'9" wing, something that we lacked. Helps us with depth. Has range, can shoot from all over the floor. And I am excited to see how his game translates over here in the NBA. But I really do think he will help us. I really do think Sasha V will help us this season. I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see what he brings, Yeah,
so we drafted him, I forgot what year it was, like 2017, 2018 or something like that. But I'm not sure how that works sometimes, like when you draft these players from overseas, and then they can kind of like stay where they at, but if they do come to the NBA, you retain their rights. So I don't know how all that works, but we drafted him some years ago, and he's finally coming over. What was the contract? Do you remember the contract that we signed him to? Let's see. It was like a 3-year. Let me see. I'm looking it up right now. $20 million. So 3-year, $20 million. That's very, very just low risk, high reward, in my opinion. But I feel like that was a good contract because we don't know how his talents are going to translate over to the NBA. Plus, he's almost 30 now, I believe, or he might actually be 30 years old. So
he is 30.
Yeah, so he's a little, he's in the middle of his basketball prime. So I feel like that was a good contract. We didn't have to spend too much, and I feel like, again, the upside for you guys that don't know, he's a very good shooter. Looks like he has very high IQ, can pass. Not the most athletic guy, but he can run the floor well enough to add that weapon.
Yeah.
Re-signing Harrison Barnes, I feel like we're going to get a Keegan jump. I'm changing my tune. I'm kind of more excited. I'm getting more excited about the year. I'm getting more excited about this team. Trey Lyles, we re-signed him. Right. What was his contract? Trey Lyles?
16. 2 years, 16.
2 years, 16. So he's getting $8 million. I like that. I
love bringing Trey Lyles back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We still got some cap left, right?
I do. Yeah, we do. I want to say we have about 13 million, I think, in cap, I believe, somewhere around there.
I think Terrence Davis is still out there. I'm not sure if we're going to re-sign him, but.
And you know what? We talked about it yesterday. I said, even though we don't have Jokic, we're taking that kind of that Denver Nuggets. We're going to run it back. We're going to stick with this team and see what they can do. And so many times we have moved off and tried to make changes so fast. You know what I mean? So at least until All-Star break, let's see what we can do with what we have. You know what I mean? Let's depend on Fox. Let's depend on Sabonis. Let's build around those two guys, and let's see where we can get from there.
No, I agree. And again, like going back to that Sasha V move, like that really excited me because you're adding another shooter. Herder, Sasha. We know Keegan, I think he led all rookies in 3-point shots. So we got some three. De'Aaron Fox improved his 3-point shooting. You know what I mean? From the previous season to last. That's probably going to take another jump this season. So that's what kind of got me excited. I'm like, yo, our 3-point shooting's about to go crazy. Malik Monk off the bench could shoot the 3. So I don't know, like as far as that, like what's your thoughts on that? Like the shooting that we added, because I feel like that's the main thing he's going to add and bring, and high IQ and things like that. But his shooting, he's shooting like over 40% for 3, like between like 40 and 50. So like, how do you think that's going to look with in addition to what we have in place here in Sacramento?
You know what? I like it. You know what I mean? A very good spot shooter. Somebody that we can kick out to. And of course, that's one of the things
in the corner.
That we were lacking in round 1 against the Warriors. Again, it wasn't defense of the reasons of why we lost that series. It was we went 2 long minutes at a time without
hitting shots.
You know what I mean? So I think that does help us. Hopefully Harrison Barnes can, I'm not going to say take the next step, because at his age, it's not so much about taking the next step.
Nah, we need consistency. Yep. That's what we need from Harrison. Once we see what we're going to get out of Harrison, we need that to be consistent, because who knows, it might be to where Harrison might come off the bench now. Because if you, depending on how Sasha come out and look, or if they want him to just kind of like lead the bench with him and Monk, oh my God, him and Monk come out the bench, that's crazy.